All right, clean sheet FC. You know, it's hard to argue right now. I think the results we've had: 3-0 Rennes, 3-0 Burnley, 4-0 Krasnodar, 0-0 United, 0-0 Sevilla. That's a compelling argument. Obviously, you had the Southampton 3-3, Palace 4-0. There's a lot of zeros on the opposite side of Chelsea's results right now. And I tell you what, guys. Or I guess real quick, remember the Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank? What if we go on and win 5 after United? We've done 3 now. We've done 3. Jimmy, I think you might have gotten yourself a little contract extension to Sky Sports with that prediction. I am so impressed at how overnight this has happened. I mean, West Brom, Southampton, the shit goal against Spurs. He literally fixed this overnight, which begs the question, is it the signings or is Frank finally taking defensive responsibility serious? It's an honest question, Nick. Is it the people that he got, or is he finally dedicating enough time to it on the training pitch?
Here at the London is Blue podcast, we like to have more nuanced discussions about the team. Rather than a simple A or B answer, I would say C, all of the above. The reason I would say that, Mendy's a clear part of this, man. It's not to say that he's had a ton of work to do over the last 3 matches either. We've dominated those matches, and frankly, I feel great about the performances. However, when you think back to United, we don't come out of that with a clean sheet if Kepa's in goal. Most likely. Who knows? But just kind of throwing that up there. So I would say that Thiago Silva is a huge addition. Mendy's a huge addition. Zuma playing, I think, at probably the highest level that we've seen him consistently is a huge addition. Chilwell, massive addition to this squad. We've talked about him at length. I think there's going to be a real competition by the end of the year for who is the best signing, and it's going to be a hotly contested race, which is great. But then I do think that Barry and the coaching staff have worked on the balance of the team significantly over the last few matches, Dan. And the reason I say that is we are rarely caught in a situation where a counterattack is a 3-on-2 or a 1v2 or whatever. We typically are holding players back so that we don't give up silly goals on the counterattack. And so I think we talked about balance of the squad a lot early season when we didn't have it. 4-3-3 has helped. The spacing between the lines has helped. All of this has helped, but these are the reasons why I think we're a lot more compact. We're a lot more defensively solid.
I think you're right that it is, as even though Brandon is trying to force us into a door 1, door 2 situation, we are taking not a door. We are using the escalator to elevate a conversation. And it is not just one thing. I think, yes, Mendy deserves praise. I think in this game, when you limit the opposition to 2 shots on target, and Mendy really only has to make 1 true save in the entire game, that's a really nice situation to be in when you don't give up the 1 true opportunity that the other team has to actually put something away. So that's good, but that's also indicative that we are continuing actually a trend that we had last season, which was we were limiting teams to a very, very low number of shots on target per match and just continue to let them in at a higher propensity than we should. And so that is, I think when you look at how structured the line tends to be, how they tend to move as a grouping now versus individually, where there's like the, 1-on-2, 2-on-3 type of scenario where we're just outnumbered because someone's out of position, which I think is a credit not just to our center back pairing and the responsibility that they've had, but actually our fullbacks and getting up and down the pitch. I mean, you talked about Chilwell. I'll talk about Reece James, who has been, I think, a revelation over the, when he came, second half of the season before restart, struggled a little bit, came back off of the restart period, needed to get back into finding form, was really finding his footing at the end of it, and is just, he's becoming a really complete footballer. I think what you're also seeing is you're seeing now Brandon, people like, well, they're trying to stand their man, Trent Alexander-Arnold. We've got the Chelsea supporters talking about Reece. And, I mean, obviously England is blessed from a fullback situation, right back situation for their national team. I mean, Reece is going to start making a case here that he might be the better option to start.
Just keep him under the radar. Just
a case. I'm not saying he is the better option. I'm just saying that he is making a case for the delivery, the consistency that he's offering. And I actually think he's got a little bit more versatility than Trent has from like a positional standpoint, from his ability to stand up an individual, like just offers a whole lot more in his locker.
Yeah, Reece is more physically gifted. There's no doubt. I mean, if you were going to compare the two, Brandon, like it's
physically Reece, technically Trent.
Probably, but the technically, even if you do edge it to Trent, it's not by that much. And physically, Reece is up there. Like,
did we see that spin move though that Reece did outside the box today?
Lost the ball.
I know he lost the ball, but
on his feet though.
That was some tight control. Come on,
it's good. I'm just not gonna let you get away with that one, Mr. Dormer. It very. I love the idea. It's very ambitious from him in that perspective. But he literally was like, "Screw it, I'm going for it." And you like to see it, but I mean, look, I'm not knocking him at all. Reece is much more solid and well-rounded. Trent is much more of a specialist when it comes to that position. And who the hell knows what England are going to do? But not my problem right now.
Wan-Bissaka's the best defensively too.
I just want Reece to get the respect and the plaudits he deserves. And if that means a prosperous England career, then so be it. And hopefully we've seen many of Chelsea legends do it, have an amazing Chelsea career and an amazing England career as far as like appearances and things like that. So, but yeah, so for those of you watching at home, Naz, 6 clean sheets in a row for Mendy, which is unfair to the rest of the defense, but we'll take it in the goalkeepers unit, and 547 minutes without conceding a goal for him at Chelsea. And then Chelsea youth getting stuck in 5 straight clean sheets for the first time in a decade. Narrative.
Studs up from Chelsea youth right there.
Come
just
on.
We're gonna go to the box. We're gonna take a look at that.
Ooh. And then a subtle narrative at the end, just to be like,
it's a little up to Joe, just a little.
Come on, don't at me.
Sneak that one in there.
All right, so the core of this fantastic run, right, is obviously Thiago Silva and Kurt Happy Zuma. Apparently, they're pretty good when they play together. Squawka tweeting out here that Chelsea 10, everyone else 0. That's the Blues record when Thiago Silva and Kurt Zuma start together. And brick emoji, because, well, I guess building a brick wall would be the assumption there. So, yeah, when they played together, Chelsea beat Palace 4-0. They drew Sevilla 0-0, drew United 0-0, beat Burnley 3-0, beat Rennes 3-0. Dan, I'll let you go through Thiago Silva's game by numbers from Squawka, and then we can touch on him before moving on.
Yeah, solid game. 94% pass accuracy, 75 touches, 7 ball recoveries, 4 out of 6 duels won, 3 clearances, 2 out of 3 aerial duels won, and 2 tackles made. Plus, he only played 67 minutes because we are wrapping him in bubble wrap. We are putting him in the bubble packaging after every match to make sure that he can start as many games as possible, because our back line with him is better than our back line without him. He's complete. He offers leadership, and as long as he can be managed, which Frank has talked about, Nick, to kind of stay healthy throughout the season. Again, we're gonna talk about this throughout the entirety of the season. Who's the best signing? Every game there's gonna be shades of, well, maybe it was Chilwell, maybe it was Mendy, maybe it was Silva. I don't know who was in this game, but Silva's definitely making a case for himself.
Yeah, he's just classy on the ball, man. Like, you don't fear for him on the ball in the way that you do when Jorginho gets a ball in midfield and is pressed immediately. Silva looks so under control all the time. And of course, like, the unfortunate thing about Silva is we're going to look back on the mistake he made against West Brom in his first game on that side and go like, oh, maybe, that was terrible. It's like, yeah, but since that point, he's been flawless. I mean, there hasn't been a single foot wrong. And you would have to imagine that was a wake-up call for him in the Premier League. and that he's likely going to wise up to some of the shenanigans. So I'm happy for him. Obviously, he's not going to play every match. I think there's just a well-known admission from Frank on that, Brandon. But it did provide Rudiger a chance to come in again, which is interesting.
Way too confidently deliver that statement.
Did I not?
You were like, it was Rudiger, right? Like, I didn't mess that up. I saw him. Okay.
Did he stutter?
Yeah, poor Zuma. He needs a break too, but so is seeing a little bit of squad rotation management. By the way, when Zuma got just blasted in the hammy, how was that not a caution? Like, he just blatantly kicked a guy in the back of the leg because you mistimed your shot. Shocking.
I think the follow through might have done some other damage as well.
Well,
to be honest.
Okay.
Fair.
From the flanks, Chili B and Reese J, because that's going to be their rap duo.
Rolls Reese.
Squawk of Football, because they pay us to read their tweets.
No, they don't.
Apparently.
Hashtag
They just
sponsor.
got good stats. Hashtag please sponsor.
At least it's not who scored.
So Reece
better
James
than
had 100% of his aerial duels won, 8 ball recoveries, 6 crosses, 5 penalty area entries, which is a funny way to say that, and 1 assist. Ben Chilwell had 100% tackle success, 6 crosses. He also had 5 penalty entries, 4 interceptions, and 2 tackles made. That's a full back pairing. I mean, they had time. You know, Rennes were down a man for half a game. It's a lot of time. You know, obviously Rennes were going to make sacrifices somewhere. They made them out wide, which makes sense. It's less threatening out there, but they still did it. They still showed up. They ran so much. They were back and forth all match, providing options for Kurt and Silva, and then providing options for Ziyech and Werner and whoever was out there on the flanks. They were just very aggressive, and I think just seeing the amount of energy they have. Again, I'm worried about Chilwell in his minutes. I'm worried about Zuma. I'm worried about Werner. We're going to have to see how it goes. We have Sheffield coming up at the weekend.